has everything to do with, yes, the temperature's insane. Yes, the infrastructure isn't there to be able to withstand, that many countries and that type of influx of fans and everything going to it. But yes,
Oh,
also,
I think it's, if I can counterpoint that, I think it's absolutely built for what it's hosting. It's a country made for tourism.
Yeah, but 4 years ago, it didn't. Or 4+ years ago, it didn't have the infrastructure to be able to withstand a World Cup, and the only reason why it does now is because of the slave labor.
Yeah, but I mean,
so like that's.
But this would not be the first, and it won't be the last country to bankrupt itself trying to host one of these things. I mean,
Very true.
Go look at Sochi.
Yep.
The Winter Olympics, Brazil, the stadiums that it built for the World Cup are now just kind of laying dormant, not really doing anything. So you spend tens upon millions of dollars for stadiums that you're going to use 3-4 times, right?
I mean, and then it's just a wasteland after that.
Correct. Yeah. So, but North America is the host, going to be the host coming up in 2026.
Yeah, all of North America, and
that's pretty exciting.
No, for sure. I wasn't saying that as a bad thing. I think it's very interesting and pretty dang exciting as well. But just I know that kind of went off on a different type of tangent there, but insanely happy. Listen, I'm thrilled to be back in the World Cup with the U.S. men's national team, and although I'd like to look at last night and be like, that's a pretty embarrassing way to make your way into it.
Well, it was just like, basically you had to play the game because you had to play the game, and you just couldn't lose 6-0.
Right. But I mean, there is something ironic and weird from a competitor standpoint of losing a game 2-0 and then, cracking beers in the locker room because you made it to the World Cup and celebrating that 2-0 loss. And I know that's not specifically what you're celebrating, but it is just a odd thing from a competitor standpoint. But that being said, 4 years ago, we were all just kind of, I'd like to call it shocked, but just kind of dismayed and disappointed because of, where the country was in soccer. And it was just kind of a slow, reluctant burn to the, negative side of things. And a lot of guys that were, you knew was going to be their last try to get into the World Cup. And it just seemed like, they're going to find a way to do it. And then you lose to Trinidad and Tobago. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, same story, different result. This time you lose to Costa Rica 2-0, but dang it, you're in.
Yeah. Think about where we were then and think about where we are now. I'm not fooling myself. I don't think we're going to go in there and just win the whole dang thing with ease, but it's great to be back for sure. And see some sort of confidence, see some sort of, at least a little bit of an upswing and some hope. There's some young players on that team that I feel like are going to be fun to watch for a while. There's also a lot of room to improve. So I'll put it that way.
I think as excited as we do this every time where we have like the exciting player like Freddie Adu or someone coming up, we're like, okay, this is the one. This is the one that's going to put us over the top. And like Christian Pulisic, he's been amazing, but he had 12 goals over the World Cup qualifying, and like that's the fourth most ever for a U.S. player. So like the Landon Donovans before, right? The Clint Dempsey's before. Like I understand he's had European success, like been like a key cog for Chelsea, like kind of, I guess I should say a key cog, to where he's been a nice rotational player for Chelsea. Go look at the teams that are actually going to be competing to win the World Cup.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and all of their players are like just featured players.
Yeah,
on the biggest clubs in the world. So like, could it be fun? Yeah. Are you going to be hoping against hope? Yeah. Are you and the buddies going to be hanging out in front of the TV? I don't know what that time frame is going to look like, if I'm being honest, in terms of trying to watch those games, but
yeah,
it won't be as bad as when it was in South Korea, back in 2002. You had to wake up at 3:00 in the morning to watch a match.
Well, I can't remember that. So
it's because you're a youngin'. But they have put out the pots
one of the reasons
for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So basically how it works is you have 4 different quote unquote pots or pods in the college football universe, and they're tiered out, right? So you have the tier 1 teams, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and there are 8 in each one. We still have 3 teams left to be decided in pot 4, but suffice to say, the pot 4 are like the 16 seeds, right? And so in each group, so when you have the group stages in the World Cup, you have 4 teams per group, one from pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, and pot 4. The USA, for whatever reason, is in pot 2.
Right.
Like the same pot as Germany or Uruguay or Croatia or the Netherlands.
It is very odd. And I have, like, it's weird to have a bone to pick with that because, like, am I happy, I guess, that we're in pod 2? Because that means we could have, you know, a better matchup, obviously, better matchups and be in better group, or easier group to get through than we would if we were in a lower. Of course. At the same time, Canada won CONCACAF.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in pod 4. Mexico finished second. They're in pod 2 with us. We finished third. It doesn't make any sense. I believe, I was talking to BJ, I believe Canada also has head-to-head victories over us and Mexico.
Correct.
So it makes no sense. But I guess
I think it's a lot of TV stuff going on there. Like, I'm pretty sure they
sure.
already know how they want these pots to work out. And that's probably how they seeded it up there. Because, I mean, again, Germany is in pot 2.
Yeah. Right.
Do you want my early favorite?
Sure.
France, again, repeating. But it's so hard to repeat. Belgium.
Really?
Little Kevin De Bruyne action.
De Bruyne, you got Eden Hazard.
You got a couple of Hazards on that team. Lukaku on that team as well.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, literally you have a couple of
different
Hazards.
guys.
Yeah, you have like, I'm not saying like they're Hazards. I'm saying there's literally a couple different Hazards.
I got you.
I'm
not gonna lie. I didn't know about the second one. So, like,
you know which one's weird for me?
You said Hazard and then you said Lukaku. So I was like, is he calling Lukaku a hazard because he's that good? Which he is. But
you know which one's weird for me is Portugal being in pot 1. But hey, welcome into World Cup talk here on ESPN Radio.
No, that's all. We know why Portugal's there, but
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, but so I think, you know, the problem with Portugal, and especially now, is even the team, you know, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, you had Ronaldo, but you had guys around him that were extremely good. Also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to check out the roster for Portugal, but like those guys have gone and retired.
A lot of them
have,
unless there's
just some young, spectacular players on that team, it's kind of Ronaldo and the rest of them.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I don't know. I'll have to check that out. But I do like your Belgium pick there. Eden, whatever.
It's not whatever. It's his name.
Hazard. It's funny. That
PG.
It's funny that you say that, and then I'm about to say this. But like, I don't know. I haven't talked soccer in a long time.
All right.
So my apologies. But
it's usually frowned upon in this establishment.
Eden Hazard has actually been one of my favorite players for a long time.
Yeah, he's a short king. I get it. I get why you like him.
It has nothing to do with that.
I get why you like him.
It has nothing to do with that. My favorite Champions League team is Chelsea.
Okay.
I love Chelsea. Oh, I have for a while. Didier Drogba. Of course, you got Pulisic there now. You had Eden Hazard there for forever. I mean, Willem. I always loved Willem as a really solid midfielder. Frank Lampard. So like, I've always been a Hazard guy. So you picking Belgium there as your sleeper, I actually am right along with you there. I like that quite a bit.
Well, the only problem with you being a Chelsea fan and Hazard fan is for the last few years, I think since 2019, and Hazard's been with Real Madrid.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, he swapped over there, and then but Pulisic came in. Yeah, but he was with Chelsea for a long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. I'm glad.
We good?
Are you a Kentucky fan now too?
No, not at all.
Because your boy Will Levis is over there?
No. Well, no, not at all. Well, that doesn't even make sense.
So you're still a big Will Levis.
This is the thing.
So you're still a big Will Levis fan.
This is the thing. No, I'm a Penn State fan.
But you're an Eden Hazard fan. Because you're a Chelsea fan. Because you're a Chelsea fan.
Yeah. I like Didier Drogba is one of my favorite players of all time.
Also played for Chelsea.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Played for Chelsea, but played for other teams too. He moved on as well. So,
right,
like,
but did you like him? Did you like him because he was a player, or did you like him because of the team he played for?
So that's what I'm
asking you. So that's what I'm asking you is so like you're still an Eden Hazard fan, and therefore you pull for him on Real Madrid, are you pulling for Kentucky since Will Levis?
This is a weird thing. I can pull for players, but not like the team they're on. Like I can want Eden Hazard to score like 2 or 3
PJ doesn't
goals.
like Kentucky for very good reasons.
I don't like Kentucky at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Penn State fan. So like,
And why would those two things coincide?
Let's not talk about it. What's funny is I'm actually like
talk about some New Year's Day bowls in the not too recent past.
What's hilarious is like I really haven't. I like watching Benny Snell run the football. Like,
and he went to the Steelers.
Exactly.
Oh.
Like his running style is amazing. And then you go watch it in the
was that the Outback Bowl?
No, it was in Orlando. What was it? The Citrus Bowl?
Citrus Bowl, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, can we talk about bowl games real quick? Now that this segment has just completely gone off the rails.
Why not?
Did you see that the Outback Bowl is no more?
What? Okay, that kind of makes me mad. Like,
there's still going to be a bowl game there, but Outback is no longer the sponsor. Do you want to guess what it's called now? The one that's played in Raymond James Stadium.
It's probably like, I don't know.
I would put it up there for worst bowl game name ever.
Oh my gosh! So is it like a diaper company? Like what in the world?
The Tampa Bay Bowl.
Are you kidding me?
So you went from having a live bloomin' onion running around on the sideline to I don't know, what do you put out there for Tampa Bay?
Like they couldn't
work things out with Outback?
I mean, my gosh.
Am I crazy as a college football fan for saying that like the tier 2 bowls, Outback Bowl is one of the best?
Agreed.
It's Big Ten SEC.
Big Ten SEC.
That's
like
for the fans who are like, why do I know that name? Why do I know that? Jadavian Clowney hit against Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you know that
That's
name.
all you need to know. But the Outback Bowl is always like the fringe top 10.
But it's
SEC
always lit. Like I think it kind of gives you a preview every now and then. Like Mac Jones started in the Outback Bowl against Michigan and just toasted them, and then the next year they win the national championship.
Yeah, exactly. I think
it's always a good matchup.
This was forever ago. Penn State played in the Outback Bowl in like 2007, and it was Penn State, Tennessee, and then went back in 2010, and it was Florida.
Yeah.
Versus Penn State. Oh, Matt McGloin throwing a pick six there to seal the win.
Georgia's played in a lot of Outback Bowls.
Yeah,
Georgia played in a lot of them. I think played Nebraska in the not too distant past.
Is it weird? It's like whenever Alabama doesn't go to that's the thing, right? Like whenever Alabama doesn't go to a New Year's Six Bowl, they go to the Outback Bowl.
Well, it's because they get like the Outback Bowl after the New Year's Six gets the top pick of the SEC West. I'm pretty sure
that makes sense. But like it,
or I should say the Tampa Bay Bowl.
Yeah. Well, forget this is ridiculous. A lot of times with college sports, we're complaining because let's say like. What is it? The Louisville like gym switch from something really cool to like
excuse me, sir, it's the Louisville,
whatever.
Louisville.
But now it's like the Little Caesars or
it was
something.
Papa John's.
Yeah, it's Papa John's.
It was Papa John's, but I'm pretty sure they took that away after the whole Papa John's scandal. Which God, I love college football.
Makes sense. I don't know. A lot of times we're complaining because like something traditional is being changed because they got a new sponsor and they're getting more money or whatever. And now we have to call it the blankety blank, ketchup bowl.
How many mortgage bowls did we have last year?
Too many. So that's always frustrating, but this is weird.
Or tax bowls.
Because it's the opposite. Really?
Like if I had to imagine Outback, from what I've noticed in the surrounding Outbacks, like Outback isn't doing too great right now, if I had to imagine.
That makes sense.
And so I guess they're looking for somebody because all of this process starts like a year before the actual game itself. So I'm assuming they just went to the city of Tampa Bay and said, hey, like you can obviously, because you're the city of Tampa Bay, you can obviously write some tax breaks for us to operate here. And then we'll give you a discount on the naming rights. I don't know if it's going to be the Tampa Bay Bowl for very long.
You know what would be like? You know what would be actually?
The Tom Brady, the TB12 Bowl?
No, stop it. You know what would actually be lit? Is if the Outback Bowl was leaving Tampa Bay to instead make a new college football bowl game with you can't automatically become a reputable college football bowl game, right? So you got to start with like 6-6 teams, but an Outback Bowl in the Outback.
Interesting.
In Australia.
Interesting. You're talking about the temperatures in Qatar. That'd probably be rough.
Is that a dingo joke?
No, because wouldn't it? That would be January 1st.
Oh, God.
Isn't that the middle of summer?
Oh, I have no idea.
in Australia?
Yeah, I don't know. Ask Chris Hemsworth. I think he knows.
Do you have his number? Because I would love to talk to him. Or Liam. I'll take either one of them.
It's true. What is going on?
But wouldn't it be summer? Am I stupid?
I have no idea, man. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's summer.
That sounds like some sort of saying. Like, I don't know what the weather's like in Australia.
What I do know is we have an important guest coming up next. One who we will not be dealing with shenanigans like this. We're gonna have serious college football talk with him. The offensive coordinator for the Georgia Southern Eagles.
There you go.
Brian Ellis gonna hop on with us next. Big change of pace coming for Georgia Southern fans. Last year, Bailey Zappi at Western Kentucky with Brian Ellis as his quarterback coach and offensive coordinator set the FBS record for passing yards in a single season. A couple of wide receivers last year had more yards in the season than anyone has ever had in their career for Georgia Southern. So big change coming for the Eagles. We'll ask Brian Ellis how big next, right here on Second Down. coordinator Brian Ellis joining us here. Coach, we appreciate the time, man. I'm sure been a whirlwind from you guys, but got to be nice to be back out there just coaching some football.
Yeah, one of my favorite times of the year, spring ball. It's always a lot of fun being at a new place and working with a new group of kids, and really really excited and really love their efforts so far.
And you come over, take over as the offensive coordinator at Georgia Southern, most recently there at Western Kentucky. And if Georgia Southern fans just kind of go back and look, just a team that was throwing the ball all over the place. And I know a lot of coaches say, especially on the offensive side, you try to design an offense around your players. When you have guys like Bailey Zappi up there who can throw it like he can, obviously you're going to sling it around a little bit. But for the Georgia Southern fans who think, hey, these guys will be throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game, what would you say? Is that what we're going to see at Statesboro, or is it just going to be maybe catered more towards the athletes?
Well, yeah, I think it's like you said. At the end of the day, our job is to score points, and we're going to do whatever we have to do offensively to try to get that done. And, I think we're all, during these 15 practices of spring ball, I think that's what we're trying to do the most, is both players and coaches, is learn one another. Expectations, how to do things, the way we want things done. And that's what we're working towards right now. And, I want to be very multiple. I want to play fast. If we got to throw it 50 times to win the game, that's what we'll do. If we got to run it 60 times to win the game, that's what we'll do. And so, again, I've been very, very pleased with the effort and the attitude and the talent that we have at Georgia Southern. And, we've had 4 days of practice so far. Tomorrow going to be day 5, and it's going really well so far.
And just as a offensive coordinator and your identity, maybe not just with percentages on run versus pass, but what are some of those core things that you try to stick to when you're trying to identify your offense?
Well, first and foremost, it starts with the tempo. We want to play fast, and we want to be able to run the ball. We want to be tough. We want to be physical. We want to be everything that Georgia Southern's been in the blue collar part of those things, and that's what's important. But I think in today's football, you've got to be able to throw the football at times to win the game. You look at the elite programs in the country and the teams that are winning championships, they're throwing for a bunch of yards every year. They got athletes all across the field. And, so we want to be balanced and we want to be able to do both. But, I think at the end of the day, too, we've got to be able to throw the football.
And looking at this roster that you have right now, how many guys are you going to give some chances with this first team, whatever a first team looks like, right? Because like you said, you're just now getting out there and getting to experience these guys under some live fire action. But how many guys are you going to rotate through at that quarterback position this spring? Or is this going to be a little bit different maybe than what a typical spring practice looks like?
Well, you're going to try to give everybody reps, trying to make sure, everybody gets a fair shake. But at the end of the day, man, this is a Division I football program with very, very high expectations. And, I think I tell our quarterbacks all the time, I don't decide who the starting quarterback is. Your teammates decide that. And that's not by their words. They don't decide who the starting quarterback is because they walk in my office and tell me who they want to start. They decide it by the demeanor, the vibe at practice of when. It's not hard to tell when you're a part of a team, when a certain guy is in the huddle and a certain guy's back there, there is a different demeanor about everybody else on the team when that guy's back there versus everyone else. So when I say the team decides who the starting quarterback is, that's what I mean by that. So they have to the quarterbacks have to earn their teammates' trust. Their teammates, they got to earn the right for them to believe in them. And when that happens, it will not be hard to figure out who our starting quarterback is. But everybody's going to get reps. Everybody's going to get a chance. But, once we decide it, once you can kind of tell, and it's normally pretty obvious, when that happens, it's time to go build that football team and build this offense and give ourselves a chance to go be successful in the fall.
And I think one of the biggest transitions that we could see is across that offensive line. And I know any coach will tell you it has to start there. And any plans that you have for an offense, those 5 guys up front are going to be the most important part. How's that transition been for these guys this fall, transition away from that option attack and maybe more towards a spread pro style that you guys are trying to install?
Well, again, I've been extremely pleased. I think we have a long way to go in the offensive line room, but I've been pleased with the attitude and the effort and the want to. I think we went out and hired one of the finest offensive line coaches in America, and Coach Owens. so, really looking forward what that group can do. And, it is a shift from what's been done in the past, and that's okay. And I think that the players have bought into it and they're enjoying it. And, that's part of us as coaches is we got to get the players to believe in what we're doing and what we want to do. And there's been buy-in. It's been really, really cool to see. We added 3 high school kids to the team this spring, and we're going to add a few more to that room as well. We got to continue to grow in that O-line room, but the attitude and the effort, the want-to's been there, and that goes a long way in being successful.
What's the transition been like coming back down to Georgia Southern? Because I know I've spoken about it a lot. It's a fan base that's really kind of unlike any other, just in the reverence they have for their program and the unabashed love they have for the program. What's that welcome been like from the Statesboro community and just kind of transitioning in now as the offensive coordinator?
Well, I'll say this: at the time I stepped foot here, the thing when you're a coach, what you're looking for is you're looking for a chance to win in a place that gives you the resources to be able to win, and people that care about what you're doing. And there is not a place in this country that cares more about their football program and their football team than Georgia Southern University. And with that, does that come expectations? Does that come with, yeah, sure. But that's what you want. That's what, we're in our profession nowadays, we're hired and fired so fast. It doesn't matter where you go. It's this way. But they've given us the resources. We have the players, the talents around. Now it's up to us as coaches and as a football team to put it together and to go out there and be successful. And, it's been really fun. You can't. I have my wife and my 2 kids. We can't hardly go into a restaurant in this town with somebody in Statesboro isn't coming up to us and talking. And everybody's been kind so far. Right now we're 0-0, so that part's nice. But everybody's been great. But you can see the care and the want to and of the fan base of we want to get this place back to being an elite program, and that's that's been fun to see.
You say the conversations have been nice, but curious, maybe they changed a little bit the first time offense goes out there, maybe only puts up 10 points?
Well, trust me, we know what profession we got in.
Oh, yeah.
I say this all the time. No one's forcing me to be a football coach. I chose this profession, and we know what profession we got in. And I don't plan on only scoring 10 points, but yes, I know I don't need to look at the internet or look at anything else to know what is being said if we don't have a successful day. I get it. I'm a coach's kid. I know what it's like.
I've spoken to Coach Helton about this, but just how excited are you overarchingly for a chance to build this program? Because I think it's one of those programs that has the potential to be really special. You see a Cincinnati go and play for a college football semifinal against Alabama, right? And just talk about resources and what you're surrounded by. I know Coach Helton's from the Panhandle of Florida, so he knows what this area is like. But, man, you went to Peach County. You know what kind of football players grow up in this area and the kind of talent that's in a 100-mile radius of Statesboro. Just how exciting is that for you, the potential, I guess, that this program has?
Well, that's what I said to start this whole thing off. And when I was making a decision during the off season of what I wanted to do and what was the next step in my career and all those things, that played a huge role in coming to Georgia Southern. I know how important high school football is in the state. I lived it my entire life. And, I tell people all the time, I chose to bet my career on high school football players from the state of Georgia by coming to Georgia Southern. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. I wholeheartedly believe you can go in a 2-hour radius of Statesboro, Georgia, and find enough talent to be very, very successful at the Division I level. And there's not a lot of places in America that can say that. And this is a unique place. This is a special place because when you're a high school football player in this state, Georgia Southern has been good for so long. Everyone knows about it. And I remember being 18 years old, and I remember Georgia Southern coming into my home and recruiting me and talking to me and all those things. And it's cool to go to Georgia Southern as a high school kid, whether you play football or not. This is a great place to go to school. It is cool to go to school here. And that gives us a chance, no matter what the resources are, that gives you a chance to be successful and to take a program to special places because of the players that you're able to get and the players that want to come to school here, no matter who the coach is, that want to be a Georgia Southern Eagle, that's pretty cool.
Again, Georgia Southern offensive coordinator Brian Ellis joining us here on ESPN Radio. Coach, I know you're just now really getting into the evaluation portion and getting to see these guys in live fire drills, but who are some guys you're excited about coming up for this 2022 season?
Oh, man, there's a lot. Jalen White, been just ultra impressed with Jalen, both as a person, the way he carries himself, his physical running style, his toughness. Gerald Green in the backfield, been really, really fired up with him. I have been, and not a knock to anybody, so I don't want anybody to think this is negative, but what was done in the past offensively, I was not expecting the wide receiver talent that we have at Georgia Southern. And you look at a Caleb Hood, a Derwin Burgess, a Amari Jones, JJ, the receiver we brought in from University of Houston, Jeremy Singleton, Sam Kennerson. I have been really, really fired up at the skill set that we have on the perimeter to be able to go do what we want to do, to see those guys go in and day out and go to practice and make the plays. I mean, Caleb Hood made a play yesterday at practice that I hadn't seen in a long time. And I've been around some really, really good wideouts, but man, it was a really special play where you look up as a coach and, all of a sudden we just scored a 70-yard touchdown because a young man decided I'm going to be special on this play, and he went and did it. And that makes it a lot of fun as an offensive coach and as a coach to be able to work with guys with that skill set and to give ourselves a chance to go be successful. We got long way to go in a lot of areas. The quarterback room, I'm really, really excited about the way they work. But, again, shifting from what we've done to now what we're going to, we have a long way to go in that quarterback room, but they're working at it every day. And, thank the Lord we have 35, 36 more practices to be able to give ourselves a chance.
And as a former college football player, I should say, and a college football coach, how important is it to you after you wrap up spring to look up in the stands and see a full stadium when you're playing that spring game on April 23rd?
Well, I'll tell you this. In this game, this job that we do, it's about the players, man. It's about the kids. And if those kids get to run out of that tunnel and see their stadium full, it changes their entire attitude, their entire work ethic for that day. The vibe of the whole practice will just shoot through the roof. It's really cool as a player to run out of there and see a bunch of people that are excited about watching you play and to go out there and put a show on for them. At the end of the day, as football players, they're entertainers. That's what they're there to do. They're there to entertain their people. And, that's what, to be able to run out of that tunnel and see that would be really, really cool for those kids.
Again, Georgia Southern offensive coordinator Brian Ellis, kind enough to take some time with us here during the middle of spring practice. Coach, we appreciate the time, man. I look forward to talking to you as we get closer to the season and as you guys go through this process, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Hail Southern.
Again, Brian Ellis, kind enough to take some time with us here on Second Down. Really exciting stuff happening up in Statesboro. Keep you updated all we can as spring practice finishes up. And again, spring game coming up here in a little bit. Really exciting to see what this offense is going to look like. So much talent up there for Georgia Southern. And again, we'll keep you updated as it goes. We'll take a quick break, come back with more right here on Second Down. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by The Uniform. Source Christian O'Kell alongside PJ Zuko. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Thursday. PJ, is it Thursday?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thursday. Look, they all start blending together once we get to this part of the week. Like, what is the difference between a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday? Is there one?
Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't really think so. Thursday is starting to feel a little bit more hopeful.
I guess once you get to football season, you got Thursday night football and you care about that. But like when it's not football season, do any of the days really matter except Friday?
I don't mind Thursday.
I'm not asking if you mind it. I'm asking if there's any difference.
I think there's a little bit of a difference because I think you're at least planning some things. Maybe you're looking forward to some stuff. Monday through Wednesday is completely just kind of mundane and it's all smushed together.
All right.
Let's be real.
So this is my favorite thing to do on PJ is just drop random questions on
Thursday also no matter what time of the year, Thursday during high school football season.
Okay.
Is high school first look,
baby.
So, that just,
with your host, PJ
that
Zuko.
Just brings, Thursday all year round is like, you know what? During the football season, I'll have a show today.
All right. We're not promoting high school first look at the moment. Did you see, might have been 3-4 weeks back now, on Wheel of Fortune where they had the clues up there and it was feather in your, and then it was 3 letters and there was an A in the middle.
Yeah.
And one lady kept missing it. She said like hat, lap, all the different things. And then the one guy who you could clearly tell knew it kept hitting bankrupt like over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we had a similar moment, in my opinion, on Jeopardy last night. So I want to see if you would have nailed this Jeopardy question because I think you would have. Because I love watching Jeopardy. I'd say I'm probably a 40 to 50%er, right? Where it's like if a question comes up there, about 40 to 50% of the times I know. It's just some of the knowledge base is just so broad. But then there's questions like this where you're like, come on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's ludicrous that I feel that way, right? Maybe it's just because of the thing I grew up watching and just the job that we do. So here's the question. For 800 points, PJ, a few career highlights. He won the Heisman at Auburn, ran for 221 yards in one game for the Raiders, and was an AL All-Star. Oh, no.
Oh
no.
Oh, for Auburn, you said. And was an AL All-Star, so it was Bo Jackson.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
That was about to be catastrophic. What was the delay?
No. At first, because like you started.
You immediately went to Cam Newton?
Well, that's the thing.
Okay.
Anyone our age, you start with like Auburn and you start going through those, won the Heisman, had this crazy stat line, and that's automatically where my head goes. So yeah, the AL thing really threw me off there for a second, but once I got back to it, I was fine. It's so hard when you say for anyone our age. When you say Auburn, you automatically.
Has anyone ever looked better in a baseball uniform than Bo Jackson?
I mean, that's a really interesting question, but probably not.
I'll pull up a picture for you.
Has Saquon ever wore a baseball uniform?
Okay. Like,
I mean, I know like Bo Jackson and Saquon kind of go hand in, or like Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders, Saquon Barkley, they're all kind of the same thing.
Dude, look at the ham hocks on that guy.
I'm telling you, dude, if Saquon threw on some baseball pants, that's what you'd be looking at. But you're right, though. I mean, that's
like maybe Ron Gant.
Like, honestly, that looks like a baseball god amongst men.
Like, look at the quads. And like, do I understand? Yeah, it's Bo Jackson. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like he was playing like low A ball.
This is like what I would
like
imagine.
Michael Jordan, love him, never looked like this in a baseball uniform. I mean, there's the famous shot.
Yeah, of course. This might like slip in a, I don't know. You're probably getting into the more like nerd version.
The dude could squat a truck.
Yeah, nerd version of me. But like, can you imagine like in like Greek mythology or whatever? Can you imagine if like Achilles played baseball?
Bro,
That
Bo
kinda
Jackson.
looks-
Bo Jackson would wreck Achilles.
Oh man,
Achilles doesn't want that smoke.
Like
you know what the problem
Hercules?
is? No, Achilles has a weakness. Literally, Achilles heel.
right?
Achilles has a weakness. Bo Jackson has no weakness.
There isn't one at all.
But the one that I will put
I'd
up
say
there
everyone has
that
one
like
weakness.
maybe looked better in a baseball uniform than Bo Jackson, I'll give you Ron Gant. I mean,
Did you say better?
I mean, look at those things.
Yeah, the pythons are sick.
Yeah.
But like
Somebody call a vet because those
would-
pythons are sick.
I would say that's the closest thing. Maybe that's close.
That's like Ron Gant at 50 years old.
But that's not better.
Nothing beats 90s graphic design, by the way.
And it doesn't. But this is gonna make a lot of people mad, and I get that. But like, look at the uniform he's wearing. That's why you think he looks as good.
No, look, here's him in a
as Bo
Cincinnati Reds
Jackson.
uniform.
No, see, no. You know what? This is gonna make you really mad. But this is like,
There's him in a Padres uniform.
it looks like Bo Jackson's like little cousin.
I mean, yeah, Ron Gant wasn't the tallest person.
No, I mean all around. Like the body physique is a little more trim. It's a little smaller.
You see these pipe benders?
Cool. That's fine. But like,
Look at that.
Bo Jackson had that on his legs and his quads and his calves.
Yeah.
He had it everywhere.
Listen, I'm not going to fight you. Bo Jackson is the man.
And that's the thing. I'm not trying to downplay or diss Ron Gant by any means. That guy's a monster.
You also,
I just would rank him number 2.
I just figured you would rock with Ron Gant because Short King.
Why? Why do we have to do this? Like, in none of these pictures did I think, wow, that guy's short. It doesn't matter, man. Especially in baseball. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I might have lied.
See?
He's just so yoked up. 6 feet tall.
He's 6 feet tall, man.
6 feet tall. He's so
Fine.
yoked up, though.
I will
looks
say,
shorter
like,
than he is.
short people do have, like, I'm not a good example of any of this right now, but like,
Ron Gant taller than Bo
short
Jackson?
people have a problem where it's like you can't get too yoked, or then you start like trending in the wrong direction of looking odd.
No. All right. Yeah, that's true.
You know, like,
All right. Listen, we're not going into body shaming here.
I'm not trying to body shame. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing that, man. Just being honest. I know why.
But answer the question: has anybody ever looked better in a baseball uniform than Bo Jackson?
No, I said no.
All right, cool. As long as we're in agreement on that,
I said no.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
don't
No, I'm just
understand.
glad we're in agreement on that.
That's fine.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come
right.
back.
Okay, sounds great.
Second down.
If I had to
ESPN
choose
Radio.
a second,
ESPN
though,
Radio.
it'd probably be Gant.
ESPN Radio. I now want to do an entire show comparing college football running backs to Greek heroes.
Can't wait.
Like in round 1, Hercules versus Herschel Walker. Hercules versus Herschel.
Yep. Solid.
In the next bracket down, we got, I don't know, Hector versus Saquon.
I don't even know who Hector is.
Hector's the guy. Have you ever read? No, thought no. Okay,
No.
the Iliad.
No.
Okay. Better question. Have you ever seen the movie Troy?
Who's like the fastest?
Have you ever seen Troy?
Yes, I have.
Okay, the guy that Brad Pitt wrecks outside of the city walls.
Sure.
That's Hector.
Yeah. Who's
Eric Bana?
Okay.
Is Hector.
Who's like the fastest NFL player right now?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill versus Mercury.
Tyreek Hill's smoking that cat.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Like that dude's running a 5 flat back in the day, and people are like, whoa,
Oh my gosh.
whoa. Like, did they even invent sprints? I know, like cross country comes from, or marathons comes from like literally the Battle of Marathon, where you're like sending scouts back and they have to run long distances, right? So like I understand
10 seconds.
that it comes from that, but Tyreek Hill and all those guys are smoking them. So we're gonna do a whole show about this. 3 and Out coming up next.